Hey guys, so fake food has become so popular to decorate with. People have been using the fake treats to decorate their kitchen, their tier trays, and especially their coffee bar during the Christmas time. And now people are wanting to decorate it with it during Valentine's Day. So I decided that I was going to create some Valentine's treats of my own to decorate my coffee bar and my kitchen with. And I created them using stuff that we have in our kitchen and Dollar Tree products. So if you would like to see the Valentine's treats that I created that look real but are fake, then stay tuned to this video. So the first thing I'm going to share with you guys how to make these fake Valentine cookies. And we're going to start off with a salt dough recipe. So for the salt dough recipe, you're going to need a cup of flour, a half a cup of salt, and then before adding the water, you want to take a whisk and whisk the salt and the flour together. Then you're going to add a half a cup of warm water, and you want to make sure the water is warm and not hot, because if it's too hot it will make the dough sticky. And I made a mistake. Don't do like me. I tried to whisk this together as I'm pouring the water. I don't know what I was thinking. Of course this is like a dough recipe. This is like a cookie dough, well, kind of trying to be a cookie dough recipe. So of course you can't mix it with a whisk. I don't know why I was thinking I could mix it with a whisk, like if it was like a liquidy type of pancake mix. But don't do like me, because as you can see I'm trying to scrape all of the dough out of this whisk and trying to get every little bit of the flour and the salt back. And so I take the whisk and I just dip it in the water because I'm trying to get all the pieces out of it. But don't do like me. Definitely mix this with like a wooden spoon. I don't have one on hand, so I'm just using this metal spoon, like this metal pie kind of cutter I have, to mix everything together. And yeah, just mix it all together until you create like a ball. Once you've mixed it enough with like your spoon or whatever you use to mix it, then you have to get your hands dirty and get in there and kind of mix it all together with your hands, because you guys know that whenever we're cooking or whenever we're making something, you know, our hands are like the best tools to have. And especially when you're creating a dough, you definitely have to just get in there and start mixing the dough together, and then just keep pushing all the pieces together so it creates that ball. Now, because it's a salt dough recipe, you want to be careful if you have any open cuts or any type of open wounds in your hands. Be very careful, because it has a lot of salt in it. So you never know, if you get some salt in a cut, it's gonna burn. I didn't have no issues with it, but I just wanted to forewarn you. So if you want to wear gloves or anything like that, I had got this recipe from a blog post. The blog post is Life as a Mom. She kind of created kind of like these tea light holders with this dough. I will link in the description box the actual blog post, but she talked about it as well in her blog post, that, you know, be careful with this recipe because it is a salt dough recipe, and if you have open wounds, you know, you can kind of burn yourself. So just be careful with it and just keep mixing it until you get it to the dough consistency that you want. So once your dough is all ready, you're going to cut it into fours and work with, you know, a fourth of it at a time, because you don't want to work with the big piece of dough at a time, because if you over knead it, then it'll become tough and it won't, you know, look well. So you want to work with little pieces at a time. You also want to use a roller to roll out just like you would do any other real cookie, and I would say the thicker the better, because it looks more real. So don't make them too thin. And then you just get your cookie cutters. In this case, of course, it's going to be Hertz, but you can do anything that has to do with Valentine's Day or any type of holiday that you're doing this for. And I mean, you could take this, basically what I'm showing you today, you could take it and do it with any holiday. So don't feel like you just have to do it for Valentine's Day. This will be perfect for Christmas, Halloween, any other time. So I love how this came out. I'm going to do it for multiple holidays coming this year. But what I do suggest is put your dough actually on the pan, and then cut out your cookies on the pan, and then just scrape the extra dough from around it, because you really don't want to move this dough after you got the shape. And she didn't suggest on the blog post to spray the pan, and I didn't spray it either, and the salt dough just peeled right off the aluminum foil. So you just keep doing this back and forth until you get all your shapes. Then you're going to put them in the oven at 250 for about 1 to 3 hours. It all depends on your oven. She said 3 hours, but mine were done after like 2 hours. And this is how they look. They look like actual real cookies. And like I said, the thicker the better, because, you know, real cookies actually rise. So that's why I say make it thicker. So now we are going to create some homemade puff paint, and that is what I'm going to use to decorate the tops of the cookie, so I can make it look like lifelike, like, you know, actual icing. So the first thing that you need for the homemade puff paint is you need 3/4 cup of shaving cream. Then you're gonna add 1/4 cup of glue. Now I'm using clear glue because I didn't have regular glue on hand. My kids kind of used all of it to make slime. So all I had on hand was clear glue. But the recipe that I'm following actually just called for regular glue, but I actually found that this one worked well. So you can use either or, it doesn't matter. I guess it's just, you just need some type of glue. So I'm using 1/4 cup of glue, and I will leave the recipe to this homemade puff paint down below as well. It's a blog post that I got, another blog post that I got a recipe for, and I will leave it down below just in case you guys can always have the homemade puff paint on hand from this blog post. And you want to mix these two things together before you add the flour in, because you want to get this mixed in well. And then when you do add the flour in, which is the next ingredient, you're going to slowly add it in just so that you can get the consistency that you want. Sometimes you don't need as much flour, and so you want to add the flour in a little bit at a time. So the recipe calls for just 1/4 cup of flour. Now the first batch that I made that it's going to be colored pink, I did use the whole 1/4 cup, but then my second batch when I made white puff paint, I didn't have to use all, the whole 1/4 cup of the flour. So like I said, it's just, you add a little as you go, and sometimes you'll use the whole 1/4 cup and sometimes you won't. To color the puff paint, you can use food coloring, but I'm going to go with this apple barrel pink paint that I've been using for a lot of my DIYs, and I wanted this cookie DIY to match all the other colors that I'm going with. So I just used paint instead of food coloring, and it worked just as well. So you can use either or, food coloring, or if there's a certain paint that you like, you can also use that to make the color of this puff paint. And also when I make the white one, I did add a little bit of white paint because I felt like the recipe by itself is not white enough. And so if you want it to go just white, you want to make sure that you add white paint to this mixture as well so that you can get that bright white. And then I put my puff paint in one of these little squeezy kind of condiment containers because I like the look of how the puff paint comes out. It actually looks like if you frosted it a certain way, like whenever you're decorating. You can use a knife and just kind of like slather it on, but when they decorate cookies, like the real like cookie decorators, they use like these little piping bags or like little containers like this so they can make it, look accurate and actually paint it the way they want. So I just like the look of how it comes out of the bottle, but you don't need to use a bottle. You can use a Ziploc bag. Like I said, you can use a knife, but I like this look, and you'll see how it comes out. It looks like those store-bought cookies, I think, when you get them at the store, like those professional store-bought sugar cookies. And you can see this puff paint recipe looks so real. It looks just like the frosting that you would see on those sugar cookies, and I just love the texture of it and how it looks. Now I wanted to add some little decorative designs to them, like some sprinkles, and when I saw these little glass beads in the Crafter Square section, they looked like sprinkles to me, especially the little long ones that I'm going to put on this cookie. And I used the actual dark pink to go on this one so that I can have like the different shades of pink on it. But you can use any one you want. I will be using the light one in a few minutes to show you guys on how I do it with the white cookie, but I just added a couple sprinkles and they came out so cute. Like I said before, I also made some white puff paint, and I use this not only to decorate like another cookie to be like the white frosting, but also to write something on the pink cookie to kind of make them look like the conversational hearts. Now guys, if you guys are not new to my channel, you guys have been with me, you guys know I always talk about that I have the most shakiest hands. So my little XO and love words on here is not going to be beautiful because you guys know I tell you my hands shake so much whenever I'm trying to do a project or whenever I'm trying to be precise about something. So I did my best, and I think my XO came out pretty cute, but yeah, I just have really shaky hands. Also with the white frosting, I used it to decorate another cookie, and then this time I'm going to put the light pink little kind of like circle beads on them to look like sprinkles. And that is how I created my fake but real looking Valentine's Day cookies. I really love the way how these came out. They look so real to me, guys. These look just like the ones I see in the store that the bakers make. They look so professional. I just love using them, and I can't wait to like take this type of cookie and redo it for different holidays and different types of things throughout the year. Now, whenever you have cookies, you gotta have milk, and it's going with the Valentine's theme. I'm gonna share with you guys how I made some fake strawberry milk. So what I'm going to be using is an old mocha bottle that I got when I bought some mocha frappuccinos. I just took the labels off of them and cleaned it really well. And I'm going to go in with some Mod Podge and some pink pink paint to make that strawberry milk color. If you guys ever had strawberry milk, Nestle Quick has two different kinds of milk. They have chocolate milk and strawberry milk, and I remember growing up drinking strawberry milk all the time, and I loved it. So I thought that the strawberry milk would go great with the Valentine's Day theme. So that's why I wanted to make a strawberry milk bottle look, but you can just do a white milk if you like just the white milk look. I mean, the white will go great with all the pink, so if you just want to go with the white milk, that will be perfect too. But I'm just taking the Mod Podge and the pink and just mixing it right into the bottle itself. And then I noticed that the pink was a little bit too dark for strawberry milk, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit of white paint and mixing that well so that I'm getting like that light pink kind of strawberry milk look. Then once I got the color that I wanted, I started rolling the paint around the bottle. Now I did have to do kind of like two types of sets of paint because this paint does dry. You need a lot of paint to get all around the bottle, so I had to mix a little bit more paint, but you just keep rolling it around until you have the level that you want of milk, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to share with you guys how to make some cute Valentine's drinks for your coffee bar. Now to make these, you need some type of mugs. I am going to use these clear mugs that they have at Dollar Tree because I think they are so beautiful and so gorgeous, and I wanted to change their colors. So one of them I'm going to do this light pink, and the other one I'm going to do like this little darker kind of hot pink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color the inside of these glasses, not the outside, because it gives it more of the look of a drink is inside it. And this one can be, you know, the hot pink one can be kind of like, if you want to be a milkshake, it could be a milkshake, it could be a Valentine's drink, whatever you want it to be. It could look like a milkshake or a hot drink. Once the paint was dry, I took the mugs and I traced the tops of them on top of just an extra piece of tag board, well not tag board, foam board that I had on hand. And this circle that I'm tracing out is going to be used as the base to make the whipping cream, because you want, well at least I like to use the ones that they could be removable. So I like having, you know, a little piece of foam board circle that I could create the little whipping cream on it so that I can just sit it on top of the cups and not worrying about filling the inside of the cup, because I would take a lot of the caulking or whatever you're using to make the fake whipped cream if you do it that way. Another thing that I like to do, so I'm not wasting the caulk for the fake whipped cream, is I take one of these foam balls and I cut them in half, and I'm going to use both pieces, but I'm going to use one for each of the little circle that I made out of the foam of the top of the mugs, and I basically glue the half circles onto it so that way when I am making the fake whipped cream from the caulk, I'm not using so much of it to create like the shape of the fake whipped cream. I could just basically make, you know, use the caulk and go around the tops of the circle. And the one that I like to use is the one that comes in the squeezy bottle at Dollar Tree, and I just put one of those cake decorating tips on it. You know, they come at Dollar Tree as well as like 5 in a pack, so you can pick whichever one you want. I use the one that has the wider side, and it actually just slides onto that little caulk. The little caulk one that I'm using right now, it slides onto it and it actually stays on it securely and doesn't come off. I like using this caulk better because the other one is just too messy for me and I feel like it's too thick, and this one comes out perfectly to look like, you know, fake whipped cream for me. And so I just keep going around the circle, and as you can see, the circle takes up most of the space, so all I'm doing is creating the fake whipped cream around the circle, so I don't have to use so much of the caulk and waste money trying to create this fake, you know, whipped cream with so much of it. You know, the half circle takes up most of the volume, I guess you could say, as I'm making it. And guys, I'm not the greatest at doing this. When I was doing it, like sometimes the caulk gets stuck, sometimes it doesn't all come out right and it doesn't flow as nicely, but I noticed that after you're done and you add your sprinkles and you add your decorations to it, it actually looks really nice. And whenever you're doing real whipped cream, it doesn't look all that great either. So don't be too hard on yourself if you're doing this and you get frustrated, because I surely did. Just keep doing it until you fill the whole, you know, the top part of the circle, decorate it with some fake sprinkles and some stuff, and it will look so cute. I also made some cute little cupcakes for my coffee bar, and I did it with the same technique that I did to make the drinks. The only difference is instead of using mugs, I used these paper cups that I found in the Valentine's section at Dollar Tree, and I used a smaller foam circle, and all I did was I put it inside the little paper cups and just did the caulking process and the little decorating of the beads just like the drinks, and that's how I got my cupcakes. And that is it for this video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making these DIYs, and I love the way that they came out. I know that I always say that, but I really love the way that these came out. I had a vision in my head and it came out better than what I expected. And I do have some more Valentine's Day DIYs coming to you guys on my channel, so stay tuned and put on those notifications. And if you recreate any of my DIYs in today's video, please tag me on Instagram so I can see them. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Hey guys, don't forget to click on the picture in the middle of the screen so you can subscribe to my channel and get notifications on all the new videos that I put out, and check out these other 2 videos that I have posted on my channel on either side of my picture. Have a great day.